wonder if I just... Ooh, hot. Okay, whew. Hi, I'm Holly and I turn mushrooms into characters. In this episode today, we're gonna learn about why you should never overlook the Sickener, is literally what this mushroom is called. This mushroom is one of the most powerful mushrooms in the forest. I like to call this one the little firecracker because it's very hot. Although this mushroom may look and smell delicious, doesn't mean that it is. This is one of those mushrooms that looks can be deceiving. Picture yourself walking through a forest and all of a sudden this cherry red mushroom catches your eye in the middle of this forest. This is the Russula Emetica. This mushroom truly stands out in its family, the Russulae. She only stands about 1.5 to 4 inches tall. Her pristine white gills and stem don't change color, and she doesn't bruise at all whenever she is plucked from the earth. Even her spore print is a beautiful white. This mushroom may seem like the most innocent and cleanest mushroom on the forest floor, but that could not be further from the truth. But in the world of fungi, looks are the ultimate deception. Her Latin name, Emetica, literally means to, oh my gosh, actually translate to the word vomiting. This is why this mushroom is considered the Sickener, because of its name, vomiting, Emetica, literally being the same. While she might look like a nice forest treat, this red color is a warning sign for any foragers. She is the ultimate heartbreaker in the woods, with her beautiful red and white kind of being deceptive. Stunning to look at, but a total nightmare if you decide to make her your dinner. If you were to smell this mushroom, you would notice a very fruity smell. It's almost like forest candy. This mushroom has a shiny red cap and is actually peelable, which is known as the cuticle or peelable cap, basically. Because of these traits, the smell and the fact that the cap is peelable, it may seem like this mushroom could be edible and even approachable. You might even see a squirrel munching away happily, and that could be an indicator for you, but do not be deceived. While other animals have different digestion systems than we do, they can maybe eat some of the more acidic mushrooms and food in the forest, but humans cannot. In the mushroom world, squirrel safe is not always human safe. The real trick is within the nibble and spit test. I did not know this, but this is a thing with mushroom foragers where you kind of have to figure out the mushroom type, and so this is a trick that some foragers use where they nibble and spit it out. But for this one, it can be kind of an uncomfortable experience. Just a tiny piece from the cap or anywhere on this mushroom and your mouth is on fire. Since this literally translates to vomiting inducing, this name serves as nature's honest label for this type of mushroom. This is a classic case of deception where it smells may be very delicious and delectable, and it will eventually lead you into the bathroom for a not so good night. So just how dangerous is our fiery friend? Within only 30 minutes to maybe 3 hours of a mistaken meal, Russula Emetica lives up to her name, triggering rapid gastrostomy distress, and we're talking severe cramps, vomiting, and diarrhea. But here's where the forest rumors get a little bit messy. Some people think you can just cook away the poison, but spoiler alert, you cannot just cook this poison right out of this mushroom. That'd be kind of crazy, actually. Cooking a mushroom will not save you a trip to the bathroom, and it also will not cook out any of the very acidic properties that this mushroom may have. However, this mushroom is not a death cap situation, which just means that there's a mushroom out there called the death cap. Well, I mean, it's kind of in the name, but it's not a death sort of situation. It's more like a very unpleasant situation. It's rarely fatal, but that doesn't mean that you should try it nevertheless. Navigating around the forest looking for red mushrooms is a little bit tricky, especially when there are so many lookalikes for the specific type of mushroom. Many foragers believe that any red mushroom is a no-go, but that's not always true. The red chanterelle mushroom, as I've talked about in another episode, is one of the more delicious and edible mushrooms, and it's red. And some russulas are actually edible as well. So just because it's in the same family doesn't mean that it's going to be poisonous or edible. It just depends on the type of mushroom. One genus does not qualify a certain exact behavior, although we've talked about other milk caps, and all milk caps seem to leak a white substance or some sort of substance, whereas they're not all edible. Every genus, families has similar traits, but they're not always the same. While this mushroom may look like a rare storybook find, it's actually quite common. The Sickener is a world-class traveler. You'll find her scattered across the northern hemisphere, especially in lush, damp forests of the Pacific Northeast and Northwest. If you head over to Europe, where she feels right at home at pine forests of Scotland and Scandinavia, tucked away in beds of But she isn't just a loner in these forests, she is considered a mycorrhizal mushroom. This is a type of mushroom that exchanges nutrients with trees in a symbiotic relationship under the ground. All mushrooms exist underground primarily until conditions are right. And then you will see their fruiting body, which is what we know as the mushroom. If you want to spot one for yourself, you'll have to trek over for summer or autumn after a good rain. The forest floor is crawling with so many mushrooms that are red. As we know, the very iconic fly amanita mushroom is all over the place. Probably what you think of whenever you think of a mushroom. This is one that is a dangerous lookalike. Yeah, we're gonna get into the dangerous lookalikes here. In this section, I like to mention a couple of different mushrooms that wear the same outfit as this type of mushroom. The fly amanita specifically looks like this type of mushroom if its spots are washed off in the rain. Yes, that can happen. One way to tell the fly amanita from the sickener is to look at the base. For this type of mushroom, the sickener doesn't have sort of a round circular egg shape, but the fly amanita does. This is because whenever the fly amanita is a tiny baby, it almost hatches from an egg shape, which is super interesting. And it continues this egg as it matures into adulthood. The fly amanita is also a very toxic mushroom, and not only toxic in the sense of it'll hurt your tummy, in the sense of it'll psych you out. Yeah. Take the beechwood sickener. This is a very similar looking mushroom. At first glance, it looks like an exact mirror of our star, the Sickener. But this mushroom does have a few qualities that differ from our main star. This mushroom is so similar that it also shares the same nasty habit of causing vomiting. Yeah. On the flip side, you may run into the tall bog Russula. This one looks very similar to this mushroom, except it's got a very slight color of orange in the cap. This one is generally edible, and for this specific type of mushroom, it will also snap into pieces almost like chalk. But because this mushroom is so easily misidentified, mushroom foragers like to stay away from this one. But the smallest details are always so important when looking at these types of mushrooms and making sure that what you have in your hand is exactly what you think it is. There are so many mushrooms that you just need to be careful of because one could lead to an upset stomach, but some of them could lead you to the ER. And I don't want that for y'all. So you would think that this mushroom is particularly rare because of how beautiful it is in the forest. but that's not the case. This is a common mushroom. You can probably find this one if you're trekking through the forest at the right time, probably spot this mushroom. So make sure to get some photos and not lick it. Don't plan to start a business hunting for this mushroom because unlike truffles and other really high value mushrooms, this one doesn't really sell for anything. You won't really find this mushroom at any Michelin-starred restaurant because the name the Sickener doesn't really appeal to most people. This mushroom is wild only and cannot be tamed, as they say. This mushroom belongs in the woods, it's stubborn and beautiful, and a sight to see, but not one to lick. I think we mentioned that before. It is now time for a forest quiz, guys. I have just shown you a couple of dangerous lookalikes versus the Sickener, and now it is your turn to play a fun little quiz to guess which one is the Sickener and which one's not. There is a lot of dangerous lookalikes for this particular mushroom, so I think it's a good idea to play this fun little game that I've made to kind of see if you can spot the difference, pretty much. I show the answers right after I have the questions, so you will know which ones are right and which ones are wrong, and to kind of test your skills if you are looking for this particular mushroom in the forest. Anyways, let's get into the game. Hi and welcome back from the game. I try to make these kind of hard. So leave me a comment if this was difficult for you and how many got right, because I want to know, and how many got wrong. If you guessed all of them right, you won! You're ready for the Sickener trading card. I made an entire behind the scenes video where I show the art process and show off this collection a little bit more in detail. You can go over to my video right after this one and watch my entire behind the scenes process. Overall, this mushroom is a beautiful sight to see. I love, honestly, red mushrooms are so beautiful and iconic, not to mention. Let me know if you guys liked this video. I super appreciate it. If you want to join my mushroom club, you can get the set and reoccurring sets as I make them every single month. If you're interested in the details of my mushroom club, I actually made an entire video about it if you'd like to see that one. Leave me a comment which one I should make next. I love making these videos. It's so fun to kind of play dress up a little bit based on the type of mushroom that I have. So like I tried to kind of correspond everything with this one this week. It does take a lot of research, a lot of time, a lot of scripting, but let me know if you guys like these. I would love to keep making more. Make sure that you are subscribed to stay updated with all of my videos. I'm Holly and thank you.